Never leave no wolf behind. Never say we're giving up. No backing down. Never been a G. Huddle, 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 huddle. SWP, here we go. SWP to the moon. SWP, here we go. Yeah. Huddle, 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 huddle. Huddle, 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 huddle. Huddle, 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 huddle.
All right. Hopefully this song got you guys going for our Friday live burn. Hey Shri, how you doing, man? Great to see you. Appreciate all your work and all your input and support. And your wife as well. Greetings to the whole family. We know that there's so many of our wolves that have stuck with the community through thick and thin for a very, very long time. And what I wanted to do today was to jump right into the burn, because that's the theme of our meeting. It's a Friday live burn. We've been doing it every week for quite a while now. Wanted to do that, and then I want to share with you some of the very soon to be rolled out, soon to be unveiled, shown to the community in every, in the fullest element in the very near future. But you're going to get a glimpse of some things that we've been working on, just so you have a good idea of the types of things that are happening behind the scenes. And so before we do that, we're going to get right down to the burn, just because I know that today I'll probably get going so excited with all the stuff I'm talking about that I'll look up and I will have forgotten to even do the burn and share it with everybody. So, all right, let's see here. So here we are. In case hopefully you can see what I'm seeing, it's the SWP tools. We do get the tax from our tax tool. Again, there's many tools that work with the token 2022 Solana blockchain tokens that have a tax. We do have a 2% tax on all buys, sells, and transfers. And we have now 172,000 tokens in our balance. Now, just be aware that and there's no guarantees. This is not a promise as the CEO of the project. This is not a promise or a guarantee, but this is just an estimate mathematically. If our token hit $100 million market cap, $100 million market cap. I'm not saying $1 billion or $7 billion. $100 million market cap, then this amount that's being burned today would be worth $172,000. So again, that's up to you whether you think it'll be a fraction of that. If it's a $25 million market cap, then it would still be an awful lot of cash being literally incinerated today, never to be sold, never to be dumped on the market, on the chart. And as a community in our back office, what we've done in these last weeks, month and a half, 2 months, is we've basically stopped altogether with the selling of our tax. That's how we were paying the bills for some time now. Now we're working on a number of other methods to cover all the expenses, different things that we've been doing in order to not only not burn the tax, to not have to sell the tax, but actually to burn the tax. So again, it's not only not doing something that would work negatively on the chart, but actually turning that around and doing something that decreases the circulating supply and allows the value of the remaining tokens to be higher. Because again, it's like a bucket that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. As the bucket gets smaller, it's easier to fill, right? Okay, so here we go. We have currently 96,591 tokens. You all know that we started at 100 million tokens and we're down to 96.5 million. So we have burned 3.5 million tokens, completely burned, never to be returned. So here we go. You're going to get to see that now we're going to burn 100% of all of our tokens in the deployer wallet. We're going to push confirm burn and sign it with our wallet. Hopefully the wallet's still, let's see, maybe the wallet logged out. Let me see here. All right, give me 1 sec. I think the wallet may be logged out. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so here we go back again. Okay, hold on. Please see the signatures. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect the wallet. Let's see if that works. All right, little technical difficulty here. We'll see what happens. Going to get back into. All right, good thing I'm starting with this so that we have a minute to get it all working. Let's see here. I'm going to copy the address to the token. I'm going to put it in here. Okay, 100%, confirm burning. Okay, it doesn't like, I guess it doesn't like the fact that it's click this dialog to continue. Oh, there we go. I can see the button, but let's see, it's still not. Okay, authorized signature. It worked. There we go. Finally. All right, good news. So maybe it required me to stop sharing that screen. Let me go back and share that other screen real quick. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I always suspect that it could always be a little bit of a risk doing anything live, right? Okay, here you go. So if you go under the deployer wallet, you can actually see 172,662 tokens were burned just now, SWP by the deployer wallet. That was currently what was just burned a moment ago. And here on this tab, back to the Slurf tools, you see now we only have 96,400,000 tokens. So 418,000 tokens total in the supply. So what that means is the supply is diminishing. Who knows? Maybe if we have a reasonable amount of activity in the next 7 days, we'll get another 400,000 and we'll be down to 95 million something, right? So it's churning away. And the powerful thing about this is that it is something that's just chiseling away, right? It's chiseling away and chiseling away. And so obviously the goal is that it becomes something that is exciting for community members, new people that are kind of watching us from a distance. They get excited about the idea, right? Because that's a lot of what meme tokens are about. Excitement. Meme tokens are about people having, getting their head around something to look forward to, just an idea about the token really going ballistic. That's really part of the excitement for any meme token is the hope, the belief, the desire that token will just be one that just goes ballistic. And we know it happens. All of us know it happens historically. We also know that there's a lot of tokens. I would say just for simple math, there's probably 97% of them absolutely will not make that kind of move. They'll either do nothing or they'll go to zero. And then there's this little percentage that get those massive pumps where people make, great profits on them. And we want to be a part of that. And part of it is to create narratives and to create ideas and thoughts that people get excited about. I am excited personally about the whole concept of the token becoming deflationary, because it truly does create this. It's like like I say, it's like a diminishing vessel for holding water. It just gets so much easier to fill, as opposed to something that's getting wider or just continually requires more and more and more to be added to it. It doesn't require more to be added to it when the vessel is getting smaller. It actually would allow the same amount of monies in order to increase in value because of the burn. It's accelerating. It's increasing. It's like a catalyst to what is happening in the token's value. Now, let's take a moment and go over the current activities that are intended to drive the eyeballs to the project, but not only eyeballs. That's what we've been focusing on for quite a long time. Our hope was always that we're going to create, the cartoon series, tell the story of the comeback, etc., and just get eyeballs, and people would come and understand that they want to join us and buy the token. But a twist of the thought process, but in many ways very much the same. So the twist is running our meme token like a business. If you think of it like a business, right? A business doesn't just say, let's have a million people come through our drive-through window, but we're not selling anything, right? So having a million people come through the drive-through window, that's great. They have the potential, but other than them buying and selling the token itself, we haven't had any product or service. And many of the systems and models that we all know about for the Web 2 buying and selling where the person involved is doxed, for example, the traditional type of sales is something quite different, where the person pays for something with fiat currency. So an actual sales funnel is quite different than the traditional hype for a meme token. Take just a moment and think about what is the traditional way that a meme token works, or in a lot of crypto for that matter. There's a lot of utility tokens that have, completely additional layers of use cases for the coin or the token. But in the typical meme token, there's really a very, very primitive concept. You get a bunch of people who get in early, they hype it to attract new people, and then they sell on those new people that come in. That's the business model. And if you really think about it, that business model is, you can struggle with the idea of, let me just give you an example. If I were to take that business model and I were to go to people that I know who are multimillionaires, or if I were to go and apply for a business grant or a business loan or venture capital, and I go and I reach out to a venture capitalist and I explain to the venture capitalist, I have this great business model. Here it is. We're going to hype up this token. And then when it gets up to a certain level, we're all going to pull out and sell on the people that come in later. And that's our business model. I probably would not get the grant money or the venture capital or the support from an investor. Probably not. Although we know that's kind of how it works. It's a game. It works that way, and people do make money on it. I would say the majority of people in that type of a game actually come out losing. And then there's a small group who plays the game just right and maybe wins more often than not. Now, if you take the idea of a business, you have a product or a service or something that has a great need that you can deliver to people at a reasonable price, at a fair market value, and then you can market it to a large audience, and they're willing to happily pay to get whatever it is that you're offering them. And if that is something that can in turn accentuate or support our meme token, think about the difference. Number one, you have the ability to, instead of like what we have been doing, having to, create tax and then we had to sell the token to pay with fiat. What if we're earning fiat, right? We're earning fiat. And in the last couple months, we've actually started, exploring and building out concepts where we can earn fiat. And so, just to recap, I'm sure if you followed and you're in the wolf pack, you know some of the things that we have been doing that we've built out. One of them that's basically right at the in the launch phase. There was final touches being put on the storyline with the between the author of our story as well as the as our animator, and basically just tweaking to make the story just the way it was supposed to be. And then it's ready to be launched onto the Vivi platform, and that is our comic book. So, again, fun for the community. Hopefully, if you're not interested in a comic book, yeah, I would love it if you didn't even like comic books. If you bought a copy just to support the community, it's only going to be a small financial amount. I don't know the exact dollar amount, but it's not going to be expensive. So, but if nothing else, you can share it with your friends and family. You might have people who really like comics and would think that it's really cool to hear the origin story of the Wolf Boy. Again, the whole idea to get people who are not currently in our community, and more importantly, not currently crypto people. That's our target audience. We're going after people who are not the traders. Why? They are far, far more likely to be loyal, long time holders. They're more likely to hold their tokens throughout the bull run to give us that power of holding that we really need. And that, as you probably have noticed, we haven't had. We've had a lot of the traditional buyers and sellers who are just looking for green candles, and they're quick to pull and run over here and move onto things. Those brand new people that we educate, that we bring in from completely as their very, very first token, we're more likely to stay with them and them to stay with us throughout this bull run. That's our goal. So we have the comic book. We may make some funds and proceeds from the comic book, and that will help to pay for additional marketing. It'll pay for our staff. As you know, we have 2 full-time staff members. It'll pay for what we were able to put the out there, in terms of doing another comic book in the future, whatever it might cost to get the pieces together for the next version of a comic book. So basically, we're able to put these pieces together and have some funds for that. The other piece that I mentioned a while back was also that I am open to doing consulting work. I already have 2 clients that I've been introduced to through an estate planning attorney, and that is basically to help people, somebody who passes away, and to help the family to harvest the crypto from their wallets or their centralized exchanges. I charge a percentage of the assets to help them with that. And again, that's just the idea of creating a business model that's in the real world to help to gather funds to be able to invest back into our chart, to invest in supporting and building payroll, doing things, advertising for things without having to sell any tokens to do that. You also probably heard last week that we are doing an instructor-led training for Crypto 101. That's for the very, very beginners, the novice, the people who don't know anything about crypto, who would, instead of just going onto YouTube and trying to learn about how to create a wallet and any of those things, instead of doing that, they could actually take a class that teaches them 101, something that's not trying to sell them anything, and they could learn from the basics. And the class that we have created right now, the instructor-led, is 6 sessions. It's in the afternoon, my time, 5 to 7 p.m. It's 6 sessions, a total of 12 hours. That particular class is for $99 per student. So some of the elements of that is that is that you can refer to friends of yours, anybody who you think really could benefit from a good 12 hours of 101 instructor led. That means they can ask their questions. They can say, well, I have a dumb question. I don't know how to get this onto my Android. I don't know how to send my fiat to this or whatever it is. They can actually get that help to start from scratch, to get funds over and learn how to do some trading before the bull run is in full. We know the bull run's already started, obviously, if you look at Bitcoin, but to help people. Again, we're trying to help people. We're trying to change their lives, people who get into crypto now. And so essentially, we're building an education company. Just think of it that way. It is an educational company. Now, could I go hypothetically, and this could be something that's real, but just so you understand what I'm trying to get at, could I go to the millionaire friend of mine? Could I go to a venture capitalist? Could I go to a business grant or a business loan and say, here's the business model for a company to train people how to safely get into blockchain and crypto, and as future disruptive technologies, that we would teach them maybe even AI, for example. We're teaching disruptive technologies, starting with Crypto 101 for reasonable prices. The first one that's on the schedule already, we've already shared with everybody the link to the Eventbrite for that one, is to teach people with the instructor led. And so here's the sort of breaking news, which is really exciting, is that we're building out. And when I say we, I'm referring a lot to April, who's on the call, and April works with our community full time. April is building out an online training for Crypto 101 that's going to be the non-instructor led. That's going to be through a platform that has literally millions and millions of users to teach Crypto 101. And it's going to have a much more modest fee. So it's going to be a fee where people can, easily sign up for it all around the world, 24/7. And the cool thing about it is that we stand to make more money on the non-instructor led because we could get a much larger number of viewers and students. And both of these trainings, we're building in affiliate links. Okay, so again, as I mentioned last week, we would be able to give you $25 out of the $99 if we knew that you sent somebody who did sign up and joined the instructor-led class for $99. So the affiliate links that are built in to the system that we're doing the non-instructor-led, the complete digital training, they have affiliate links, and you all would have the ability to have your own affiliate link to share and make money, real fiat money, selling the classes. And again, how is this going to help our token? Well, first of all, the concept is that it should benefit at least my goal, right? So cover expenses, but it would give us, as we're working on this, building this company, we would be able to have the proceeds now to not have to sell tokens and to be able to put something from there back into the chart, back into marketing, advertising. However, keep in mind that both the instructor-led and the complete online training, part of our goal is not to hard sell the students on SWP, but absolutely to mention it and like whenever there's an example, for example, if there's an example of, hey, for example, there's a meme token like this one here, SWP, right? So it would be the example in the majority of the cases, not so much where they feel like this was the hook, I signed up for something and then I'm getting upsold and trying to be sold something else, and it makes the content feel scammy. That's not what we're intending to do. However, we are intending to make SWP part of all of the training we do. And just like I did, you probably remember the in-person training that I did in a few weeks back and then about a couple months before. So we've already done 2 in-person physical seminars. And the one that was most recent was fully recorded with a videographer and is actually on our YouTube. So if there's any sense, if you're new to our community and there's any sense of, yeah, this sounds good, but are you guys just talking and you don't actually create any content? Please just go and check out our YouTube, check out our X, check out our Telegram. You'll see we have dozens and dozens of instructional videos. We're working hard on education, information, and entertainment. And we're just shifting a little more away from the entertainment side to the education side. That's what's happening. Reason being is that, as I've kind of understood, I think we've understood that there's more potential to actually generate income for us in education than there is in entertainment. With entertainment, the only ways that we would have ever really made any money would have been if we had monetized our channels, like having so much traffic and so many viewers and so many subscribers that our channels are monetized and we're making money from just all of those viewers. Or we just got so many people watching a viral video that some of them dug deeper and then bought our token, right? So that I don't know of too many other ways that just making this great entertainment, or I guess if we had something that was bought by a channel and actually aired on a streaming channel or something like that, then of course that would be monetized and they could pay royalties for streaming our content that we've created. But I believe in the short term, and that is absolutely not out of the question. We're not saying that that's never going to happen. But what we can say is, like, if you want to go and check and watch the 3-hour seminar that's on YouTube of teaching Crypto 101 to an audience, and understand that this can be packaged in so many different ways. And so there's absolutely no question that we can teach Crypto 101. There's no question. We're doing it. You can watch 3 hours of it if you don't believe it. We're doing it. We can teach beginners, help them to get into blockchain and crypto. Then the question is there an audience for it? Is there a need for it? There are millions and millions and millions of people who currently are not in crypto, who are still starting to think about it and just thinking about, well, I want to check that out. I don't know much about it. The reason they're super nervous and standoffish is that they just don't know enough. So they're scared, and they're scared of getting ripped off and scammed and tricked. And they've heard scary things and negative things about crypto. But the audience, the potential market, is in the hundreds of millions of people. What about our competition? How many meme tokens do you know that are basically monetizing, creating course content to teach normies and newbies about crypto? How many are doing that? I don't know of any. I don't know of anyone who's building out course content, doing in-person seminars, in instructor-led Zoom training to teach people and monetizing it, and or online courses to teach people. So the market is enormous, borderline limitless. And then I'm adding the just so you understand the limitlessness of it, I'm adding the concept that we could roll over to talking and teaching about AI as well. Just simply because I think that there's so much interest in AI right now. There's probably more interest in AI than there is in crypto, if you just ask general polls. And so we're not limited to what we can teach if we're building an educational company, an educational platform. The only thing that would limit us is just getting the instructor, the appropriate instructor, who really knows the content that they're teaching. And I mentioned last week, I don't know if, in different conversations, but both myself and April actually have a background in education. So I worked in training and development and taught adults. I actually worked quite a lot with online training or online digital training, computer aided training. So it was kind of right at the when internet was coming out. This was in the early 90s and and then mid 90s. So I worked a lot with training, language training. I worked with teaching English to adults when I lived in Sweden. And I also taught corporate level training on different subjects, and I taught cultural differences, etc. So I have experience in teaching adults and running seminars, running classes, creating course curriculums, creating content. And I worked for the training department of a large pharmaceutical company. I worked for government offices in Sweden. I even worked for the prime minister's office for a time in Stockholm, Sweden. So teaching adults, I have been there. And it just so happens that April is also a school teacher and has experience working with not only teaching, but also building out curriculums and classes. And that's why she's very comfortable building out and working on this. So it's just a matter of putting this together, because this was not always on our roadmap. Like, we didn't always know that this is exactly what we were going to do. We were working hard on making funny videos, making the cartoons. And like I say, the last few weeks, Kai's been working on the comic book. But I believe strongly that when I realized that we need to have something that we could market and sell, that we could actually get people's email addresses. We're actually capturing an email list and letting that email list grow. Real world stuff. It's such a challenge in the crypto world that everyone is anonymous. Nobody wants to be doxxed. And believe me, I'm not trying to go out and dox anybody. But my point is, we're going after normies who haven't even understood that that they can't go and do a training without being, scared about doxing themselves. They're going to send an email address. They're going to have an email address so they can be followed up on as a client, and we can communicate with them and help them to learn. And they're going to be paying with a credit card on some kind of a platform for classes, whichever one. And so, like I said, the in-person instructor-led, or the instructor-led, those are Eventbrite. The other one is a platform called Udemy. And I wanted just to show you guys just a sample of just what the site looks like, so you guys have an idea of what we're talking about here. So let's see here. Online courses. So this is an example of an online course website, and people like us make classes, and people who want to learn something sign up for them and pay for them. Just take a look at this. For example, I was clicking on this, just some of the different subjects. Here you see the pricing on some of these. Here's a bestseller. ChatGPT is $89.99. 50,000 people have given it a review. Well, I'm not that good at math, but if I estimate 50,000 times $90, there's some serious money that was made on whoever built that class. Here you see 1,900 likes on a class. Here you see the Python search, 48 million learners, machine learning, 9 million learners, artificial intelligence, 4 million learners, natural language processing, 850,000 learners. Hopefully you get the idea. 4 million learners on ChatGPT. Here's some more, what learners are viewing. Here's 300,000 likes on 100 days of code, the complete Python bootcamp. So people are on this site. This is a site with millions and millions of learners, right? And what that means is, when we can put our content on here, whether it be the Crypto 101 or even continuing versions of it, additional things, we have an audience that can see it. So if we can get good reviews and people chime in, and our cost is reasonable for what we're sharing and teaching, there will be a viable business. And the goal with the viable business, assuming that if you as a holder see that we have a number of goals with this, the training company is going to be referring back to using the SWP whether it be SWP Crypto Education LLC, it's still going to be SWP, right? So people are going to be seeing the abbreviation, catching on that there's this word. Oh, they'll probably say they also have a meme token, right? There's a connection between the people teaching this class and they also have a meme token. And the funds, again, the kind of money that could potentially come in, it's going to give us plenty of money to, help buy back the chart, cover expenses, help to boost marketing, etc. This benefits all of us. And I really, really just implore everybody, be aware of what's about to happen. It will take a little bit of time to get some of these things together, but please be aware these things are happening behind the scenes, because I know that the reason people jump and bail on crypto projects is because they are afraid, or they have knowledge that nothing is happening and there's nothing on the horizon. Nothing could be farther from the truth with this project. So even just following the market cap as a determiner of what's happening behind the scenes, at this particular time, there is really not a connection. The work is being done behind the scenes. People are entering and exiting based on their own reasons. It's not a clear determiner of what's happening behind the scenes. What's happening behind the scenes is the things I'm describing to you. We're building an educational company that I believe is going to be really successful, and successful enough to get, another 100 people, another 200 people. We're not talking at this moment about millions of people coming. That's not even what we're talking about, coming over that hump, right? Of starting to be able to pump back in and making sure that we can burn. We could even buy back and burn. Not only buy back, right, to pump the chart, we can buy back and burn. I mean, when people start to recognize that we will be the deflationary token for this bull run, and the educating token for this bull run, and the entertainment, we don't know how popular our comic book is going to be, but if it's popular, we're selling 500 of them in the first round, you better believe we're going to do the next episode. Of course, if it's popular, we're going to do the next episode. And I mean, there's just so much that we can do and we can build. I wanted to share with you one other little announcement, but before I do that, let me just show you another thing here. I've got this membership from, I've had this for quite some time. Okay, so I don't know if you see what I'm seeing. Hopefully you see this is Blockchain Academy. And it's kind of an interesting thing, because this whole concept, I've worked with them a little bit because I was looking to build out a department, almost the same thing that we're talking about, a couple of years ago for a very, very large company, to help build a training project about disruptive technologies, because I've been very interested. I'm still very, very interested in the future of blockchain, crypto, and real estate. Okay, so, and I was one of the large holders. I believed strongly in a token that was supposed to be connected to real estate. And I also work at a real estate company, the largest real estate company in the world. So the idea was that I would maybe be able to help train people about crypto and real estate. And it didn't kind of pan out, the original, like the idea that I was doing. This Blockchain Academy, turns out that this is the one that the original Saitama Inu devs basically put as their excuse, if I were to put it that, for the training that they promised in their original white paper. Their original white paper was talking about educating the next generation, educating young people, educating the next generation in the future of finance. And we waited and waited, and finally they were not creating any content at all. They were not creating education or anything. And next thing you knew, they put this platform inside of SideMask. And when I had talked to the owners of the company, and it turns out that this Blockchain Academy, they are courses made. Some of them are made by different people, different teachers, different companies, and they basically share the revenue of what they've created. And So sort of like this other thing that I was just describing on Udemy, and they basically they work with colleges. These classes that are in the Blockchain Academy, they're college courses. So people actually go to these in colleges, and the colleges actually plug into Blockchain Academy and rebrand the entire site to their college name. And the classes are like $400 a piece. So these are much more expensive classes than the Udemy classes. But it's just fascinating to see that, again, this is here you see one, $295 for that class that you just saw there. So there's classes here that are all sorts of different things that people are teaching, and they are connected to the colleges and teaching college students about all these different subjects. So I find it to be interesting, just simply that, these things are out there, and there is a market for it. For us, again, all I'm even thinking about is the 101. I'm just worried about the beginners. And then if we can get the beginners, we get them, we can always go to more advanced subjects. We can bring in other experts to teach more advanced subjects if that's appropriate. But in the beginning, our goal is just to help people to get over from the, I don't know anything about it and I'm scared. Bring them over. Hey, I know how to trade. I know how to create a wallet. I know how to buy and sell. I've bought a couple of meme tokens. I maybe bought a little Bitcoin, whatever it is, right? So basically, that's our goal. And then I wanted to share with you just one final thing. And I'm sharing this with you I would say in trust, because the exact agreement is being solidified. But I really, I've been doing these calls once a week. And so I haven't been doing, 24/7 in the Telegram, but I just want to give you guys a heads up on it. And we're going to see how exactly it plays out. But just imagine a local rock band. And when I say rock band, I don't mean I mean they do gigs, weddings, play in bars, play in pubs, play at events and things like that, but not a fill a stadium kind of famous rock band. So it's a local band that you might see at a bar or something like that, right? And it just so happens I know one of the guys from the business world, and I was talking to him about his band and asked if they would were interested in, maybe even, it doesn't have to be like all for all the time, but for specific occasions, even if they would be the SWP, the Wolfpack, if the band will be the Wolfpack instead of their current name. And the leader of the band's like, that's pretty cool. That's a cool idea. Like, why not? What would it look like? So from my perspective, just so you guys, I'm sharing this with you early, but what it would require is basically they do their normal gig, which is a lot of 80s covers, but instead of being their normal name, we'll have our logo, we'll have it on their t-shirts, whatever is required to really just show enough of our logo, our brand, and they'll do their normal 80s covers, but also this would be kind of icing on the cake to weave in something about, like a couple of songs at least about crypto and SWP, maybe singing a little bit like some of the songs that we had a lot of our community members creating with AI. And of course we have our theme song, which we start and stop our meetings with. So wanted to share that with you guys because honestly, I really feel like when people start to see our community, we have our own band, we have our own comic book, we have a press release that we finished and that is actually sent out. I'm getting a lot of help from Gordon, and the concept with the press release is what we're following with that is a very strategic roadmap that works with launches and products. And it's just a little bit going slow to go fast, where we're rolling it out in a structured fashion that really has proven to work with giving content. So just imagine 5 videos, and people who kind of click and opt in to see the 5 videos, maybe give their information, then they get offered to sign up for the full class. So it's that typical sales funnel, the sales funnel that works with every other product, the one that got you to buy something on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you've clicked on something recently. That's what they call social selling. Social selling is literally the biggest, hottest thing right now on the market, but we didn't have anything to sell previously. Now we do. We have something to sell. We have a product, being our training. So we're able to engage in social selling, and that's where the press release. Our hope with the press is going out to hundreds and hundreds of news outlets. And so just waiting to see which one of the news outlets publishes this press release. The press release is basically making a news about what we're doing. And again, I just feel excited that funnels people back. People will sign up for the course, check out so we could literally see a real big pop based on the press release. By the time the band plays, and this isn't something that's going to take that long. The band, we would just have to have our logo and the t-shirts, right? We have to have t-shirts and things to make it specific to, oh, this is not the XYZ band, this is the SWP band, right? And be able to film the whole thing as much as possible and start publishing it where all of our competing pump fund tokens are going to see, we have a band. You guys have a band? Oh, you don't have a band? We have a band, right? I just can see this being pretty cool for a meme token. That it fits so closely in line with memes. I've seen tokens pump because somebody wrapped their car. Somebody wrapped a car, and the token is like blowing through the roof. It's like, that's not that big of a deal, but it is. It is that big of a deal in the crypto world because we're moving the lever so much based on hype. And that's where I believe strongly that I understand how it works. I understand how hype works. That's why I wouldn't be engaging a rock band otherwise. However, I believe strongly that having a true business model behind the scenes is a lot more than hype. And the goal of this project is to change lives. And I know that sounds, very high, it sounds very airy-fairy high, but it is to change lives. I want to change, my life, my family. I want to change April's family, Shayna's family, the lives of Kai and his family, and every single other person in the room, right? I want to change the lives of the people that are here who stuck with the community and gave time and energy and focus, and they actually put money into it and supported. The goal is to change their lives, but the people who are not into crypto at all, who learn, stay safe, come on in, and come in safely, they're going to be now on that side of the chasm, right? They're going to be in the world that understands blockchain, and the rest of the world is going to be on this other side. So we're working to change lives through education, through support, through building this business model, through thinking, trying to think. We have the longevity on our side because we have a tax. If we ever needed to utilize the tax, we have a tax, right? We can use it if we needed it, but our goal is to only burn it from now to forever because we can make money with other things. That's the point. We can support ourselves, and we don't have to use our tax anymore. That's why when we look up and that 100,000 tokens actually is worth $100,000 and we burn it, like that day, that's going to be a big day. Like it's actually worth today $100,000 and we're going to burn it. Be a little bit painful, but it's when we do that, it's because we know, well, we're making that over here with our training and development business. So anyway, that's our news. I will keep you guys in the loop with all the details about the rock band, the comic book. If we do get any venture capital to help build out the training program, if we solidify the legal entity for the training company, you guys are going to know about it. By the way, our community does get support for rating. We do have the Raider bot up and running. So from my understanding, everybody is able to make some tokens for rating. So I go into the Raider bot, and we'll keep you in the loop too once we get the the affiliate links solidified. Just be aware that you'll be able to make some money by sharing links to the different training opportunities to people who are beginners, and if they sign up, you'll make a percentage of the fees for the classes, and that's just a little bit of an extra peripheral income for you. You can use it to pay your bills, you can use it to buy some more tokens, whatever you choose to do. But it's fiat, so it's not going to hurt our chart one way or another. It's all going to be good. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Appreciate it. It says on my chart here, it says 162 people. So assuming that 162 people are seeing this right now, I hope that another 1,000 people see it in the recorded version. But everybody stick together. Do not be shaken out of your position by somebody who just is basically saying they're scared. If somebody's scared, or they're spreading FUD, keep in mind that some people spreading FUD are trying to get you to just leave and go to their token. That could very well be the reason why somebody's fudding, right? They're not fudding because it's just the truth and there's something to be that worried about. I've seen it, and people are fudding because they're just trying to get you to go over to a different token where they actually hold, and that's not fair. So please keep your senses, be alert, be careful, and everybody have a great weekend. It's Friday afternoon here, and we appreciate that you guys came out. I also hope you all have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.